morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, saying hi to everybody. Yeah, good morning. Hey, Denise, how are you? Susan, good morning. Timmy, good morning. Ramblin' Wreck, Amy, good morning. Canuck, good morning, my brother. Lake Girl 19, good morning. Flutter Girl, good morning. Dub Diesel in the AZ, good morning. And Denise in the UK, good morning. And Croatian Dude 96, good morning. For those who I didn't call, yeah, good morning to you too. It's what, April 7th, right? Yeah, April 7th today. So got a lot going on here, so we're gonna do a quick report here. And let's turn dun, 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 dun. That one off, and then full screen. Solar wind right now is 539 protons densities at less than 1. We've had a C2 and a C3 flare over the last 24 hours. But look at this. 48 and 54 have beta gamma magnetic fields harboring energy for geomagnetic storms M class flares too. So 48 and 54. 48's right here. 54's right here. 54 is directly over us right now. Now the other 46 is way over here. So that thing, guess, died out, which is okay. 44 is around the corner. Yeah, so 54 is kind of maybe a little in front of us. And 56 is coming around the corner with another little tiny one. Other than that, I think the solar disk is pretty quiet. Centennial Gleesberg cycle. You've heard of 11-year sunspot cycle. But what about the Centennial Gleesberg cycle? The Gleesberg cycle is a slow modulation of solar cycle which suppresses sunspot numbers every 80 to 100 years. It may have been responsible for the remarkable weakness of solar cycle 24, yet we're in 25. Solar cycle 24 happened between 2012 and 2013. New research published in the journal Space Weather suggests that a minimum of the Gleesberg cycle has just passed. If so, solar cycles for the next 50 years could become increasingly intense. They're still trying to figure out what the heck is going on with our sun. Yeah. New comet discovery here. Astronomers are monitoring bright new comet, easily detectable with backyard telescopes. Yeah. Swan 25F. Check that out, man. Yeah, you got a backyard, thing to look at the stars. There you go. Newly discovered comet Swan 25F is brightening nicely as it approaches the sun. Reports Michael Olson sends us pictures from Tucson, Arizona. Hey, man, it's over there by Dub Diesel. Actually, about 80 miles south of him, and quite a bit more south than me. The comet's tail is at least 2 degrees long, says Michael Yeager, who's teamed up with Gerald Ryman to photograph the comet low and monitoring the sky. Austria, this is what it looks like, man. Check it out. I'm going to see it blown up. Hey, that's a pretty good pic. I'm going to save that one. Who knows when you want to use it, right? I'll put it in the downloads. Pretty good pick. Pretty good pick. What else we have? KP index is under 2. Expected to go rise just a little hair. There is a corona hole, but it's not too big. But I think in about 4 or 5 days, so around the 11th, it'll kick up some. Yeah, they got the 10th. So about the 10th or 11th, it'll give us some wind. Remember, right now the solar wind's 539, still pretty strong. Comparative to the 300, our normal is 350. 55% chance for an M flare, 10% for an X. And today, there's still 2,349 potentially hazardous asteroid. Well, what is that? That's a FA, man, potentially hazardous asteroid. That's an asteroid that is 300 feet or bigger, traveling within 5 million miles from the Earth toward the sun. So that's 5% of the distance, right? And today we're monitoring on the 7th. There is one rock out there. That's a quite large rock. I even have to check this one out, man. It's let me see what it is. Math here. 180 meters multiplied by 3, about 540 feet. But it's pretty far out there. And it's 19.6, probably near 5 million miles out there. It'd be 1225. Kilometers, right? Yeah. Clear, sorry. 384,401 multiplied by 19.8, is it, on the 7th? 19.6 divided by 1.6. About, what is it, 47 million miles? I don't know. That ain't right. Three hundred 384,401 multiplied by 19.6. 7 million kilometers. About 4.7 million miles away. So big 500-foot rock is 400 miles away. Or 4 million miles away. 4.7 million miles away. 19.6 kilometers. Or 1,000 kilometers, or whatever. Lunar distances, it is. Lunar distance is 280,000 miles, or 240,500 miles. And so 238 actually. Yeah, about 19.6 mile lunar distances. So it's pretty far out there. Not as quite as far as Mars. So Mars is pretty far away. Let's see what else. It's traveling 8.9 kilometers a second. And so it's pretty fast, you know. So anyway, that's out there. But it's far enough away, it's, you know, nothing to really worry about. Looking at Alaska. And Alaska 2, this is the close-up of what our sun's doing. A lot of brightness around the edges. There's a little pop, something happening. Looks like this is coming around. I saw another pop at the top. So shut that one off. Let's look at the Alaska 3. Show a little bit different view. Not really seeing a lot emanate from the sun. So that's kind of good. Let's go ahead and look at the solar wind right now. And the pressure upon the magnetopods. Not a whole lot of pressure on us. Look at that. Although we have the solar wind, the proton density is really just nominal. And it will pick up. BZ staying in the north, or in the south, just a hair, but just at the same level. Or equatorial region. So standoff, right now it's 18, and there's no dynamic pressure. I don't expect the sun's, whatever the Earth is charged with, that's what can become a Zapparini. Looking at the X-rays over the last couple of days here, looking at 3 days, not a whole lot. We barely had an M, looks like Saturday. So, and it's just normal seas, real low seas. So, nothing to really jump out about. We did, on the 5th, which is Saturday, we did have a G1. It doesn't look like well, they call it a G2 maybe. Almost a G2. It's a G1. But over yesterday, nothing. So we're okay. In the 6th, we started off with a G1, and then it's real quiet in the KP. So looking at the ground magnetics for the last, from up to 14, I think it'll go 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours ago. As the sun is traversing Africa and crossing the Atlantic, don't see a whole lot of activity to warrant real big concerns for the ground magnetics to affect lines, transmission lines, and or piping in the ground being magnetized or ionized. So that's okay too. What else we have? Yeah. If you're looking for Uranus, it's on the other side of the sun, just as Jupiter. If we see Jupiter, when will we be seeing Jupiter? Right now, Venus disappears again. We got another day of Venus disappearing. So Venus in the nighttime is really visible right now. You can see all the way from today's date. Mercury's visible too in the morning sky. Yeah, so there you go. Now you know where Uranus is. I'm looking up the tremors. We had some vibrations yesterday down here in Washington, north of Grants Pass, south of Roseburg, in Oregon. That is Blanco fracture zone right here. This is the Texas liniment. Comes down and a little bump up there by Vancouver. Going back a day prior into Saturday, still that little bump right there. And then looking at Friday, there was nothing. It was nothing all week. Let's see if they threw it in there after the fact, right? Here's Thursday. Here's Wednesday. Here's Tuesday. Here's Monday. Yeah. Monday had 44. Nothing to really worry about. Do we have any drunk Chinamen out there? Let's look at the difference between the non-reporting stations and the reporting stations, and the buoys. Yeah, no Chinamen banging the buoys today. Maybe they figured that out. I figured them out too, but they'll use it when they need to, and we'll call them out. There's drunk Chinamen out there. They driving a boat, driving a U-boat. Yeah. Come on now. Mm-hmm. They can't. They can't. So I ain't saying it, but they can't. Let's see if there's any power outages out there in the States. Michigan, 42,000 people without power. Arkansas, or Arkansas, 25,000 people without power there. And Florida, 11,000, and Old Cali has 10. Now, we know the weather was really bad over the weekend. Just over the weekend, really bad. So, hopefully that stuff is done. I'm really sick and tired of the weather for everybody. But look at here in the south. The deep south has got it again. Oh, my land. Look at the dirty. Looking at the dirty, there's some rain working its way through the Carolinas all the way up the eastern seaboard. And a little bit up in Canuck land. But then there's some more back here. But there's more on the way. I don't know which way we'll check it out right here, looking at the global. Let's go ahead and watch the movement of this weather here. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of going north. So where's the jet? Jet's way down here, but then this is pushing in. Is this going to go north? Small little wave. Yeah, I want to stay with the warm weather right now. We have warm weather. Yesterday was pretty nice. Oh yeah, I saw that China says they own Australia. Yeah. You can't be afraid of them sons of bitches. Fly of the bird. Fly of the bird. Right? Yeah, gotta make a flag. Fly of the bird. The bird, bird, bird. Bird is a turd. Well, anyway. You know the song. You know the thing? Yeah. The storm index. Look at the storm index here. Yeah, it looks like slight out here. Little warning down there. Tornado. Well, 5 minutes ago, tornado pops up. Look at that shoot, man. Right? Panhandle or east of the Panhandle. Tallahassee all the way up to, Charleston. Yeah, so tornado warning. Yeah. Be alert, everybody. If you're in the neighborhood of where the tornado is, here's the warning here. What's it say? Urgent immediate broadcast requested. Watchtower 133. Tornado watch for positions in North Florida, southern and southeast Georgia, southern South Carolina, and the coastal waters. Effective right now. A couple of tornadoes are possible. Scattered damaging winds and gusts up to 70 miles an hour. Tornado watch in the other area is approximately along and 60 statute miles east-west line from 95 miles northeast of Vidalia, Georgia, and 50 miles southwest of Tallahassee. So, which means, remember, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms in close to watch area. Keep an eye out there. Get to shelter, will you? Don't be a wackadoodle. Yeah, we'll watch over here. What's going on over here now? Big storm going up towards the UK and Spain. That was that last bastard that came through. This is this one here, nailing them. My boy's got a little something coming right. You got a lot of wind there, Luke. This is coming straight down through yours out of the northwest. Big high pressure building up over me. Upper levels. Down the Caribbean's got all that warm in the upper levels. And look at this, is just sucking it in. Yeah, not a time to be in Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas right now. Yeah, looking at the lower levels. Yeah, look at all that heat coming up, sucking it right up into you guys. And all that cold being pushed down, dry area. Not a fun time. Not a fun time. Well, anyway, looking at the volcano news. In the news today, April 7th, 2025, Simiru, Ibu, Dacono, Marapi, Reventador, Poaz, Sakurajima, Nevada del Ruiz. All right, those are the names that are making the news today, Monday, 4/7/25. Simiru, last reported, it's doing its thing. Normal. Nothing new there. Ibu and Dacono, 7,000 feet there in Alamarahara. Poaz over there in Costa Rica, 10,000 foot. Boof, right? And Poaz has been a little bit busy, everybody. Panama is down south of this. Costa Rica is right here, right? Then it goes up to El Salvador, right? So Poaz right here, pretty busy. So we know there's some pressure, in that subducting zone in the Caribbean. Sulawesi or Sunozajima, yeah. It popped to 8,000 feet. It's a 2,800 foot mountain going to 8,000. A mile high, baby. Kaboom. Right? Do what? Merapi. 12,000 out of Merapi. The Nides region here in Indonesia. That's just a little popper. Not a lot, but it's telling you, I'm in live. Yep. And Ibu, again, 7,000. So, Reventador down there in Ecuador, which is just south of Colombia, and north western part of South America, 14,000 feet. It's about a 3,000 foot pop. Sakurajima. Sakurajima has been active, quite active, over the last 4 or 5 days. 7,000 up to 14,000. So Sakurajima has been quite busy there in the bottom of Japan, on Honshu. And Dakono over there, Ibu Dakono and Halemarahara, 10,000 feet. Let's see here. Sonozajima again, 10,000 footer, right? So it's kicking up. Yeah. So that's 2,800 to 10,000 feet. Pretty good little Paparini. Simiru just staying at about 15,000. Nevada del Ruiz there in Colombia. Reports of emissions. And that's it for today thus far. Let's go back to yesterday. And let's see if there's anything that's really kicked up. Simiru, Ibu. No, nothing. Dakono. 10,000, nothing there. White Island happened, still low-level eruptions north of the North Island of New Zealand, just offshore. Santa Guido, it did about 1,000 foot, 2,000 foot there in Guatemala. Reventador, 14 is nothing. Ibu, 7 is all right. Simiru, 15 is normal. Dakono, 7, all right. So all that. White Island again yesterday. Little Toby, again, didn't make the news today, but Little Toby and Little Tolo, both are still banging, baby. Boom, 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 boom. And Simiru, still doing his thing over the weekend. Still pretty constant. Seems like, mountains that are about 12,000 feet are constant for some reason right now. And just like Dakono and Ibu. Ibu's like 4,300, Dakono's 3,600. Dakono's active more. And it's just building, basically. Going on into Saturday. Not seeing anything major that happened. White Island went to 3,000 on Saturday. Simia's normal. Little Toby did 8,000. Sakurajima exploded 6,000. All right, nothing out of the ordinary I'm seeing here over the weekend. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Because he kind of put it in context, because I don't do a report on the weekends unless something big happens. 19 out of Popa, that's nothing. Just smoking, baby. And that's it. All right, so nothing happened over the weekend. Let's go right into the EMSC for this report. On this day in history, earthquake-wise, right? April 7th, 1970, Luzon had a 7.5 just north of Manila. Very, very bad. 15 people were killed, 2,000 injured. A strong shock was felt all across Luzon Island. Their earthquake racked one multi-story building, a school, several smaller structures in Manila. 3-story west wing of an elementary school in Manila's Chinatown section collapsed into a heap of rubber and rubble, no higher than 6 feet in some places. The portion of the school had 30 classrooms, but normally accommodated more than 2,000 students enrolled. Fortunately, the school was closed as a result of transportation strike when the earthquake occurred. Thank God for that, right? The city's tallest building, the 22-story Manila Hilton, had many cracks in its walls. The chunks in marble and plaster littered the stairwells. Tremor shook sideways in the streets so severely that nearly impossible for anybody to walk or drive for a few moments. Minor aftershocks happened on the 12th and so forth. So on this day in history. Luzon, Philippines, 1970. All right, so we're going to go on this. EMSC will go for the last 12 hours. Report on what's happening. Let me bump that up for you. And close the earth. There you go. You can see a little better, eh? Hey? I'm looking for anything above a 4. Oaxaca popped with a 4 13 hours ago. Yeah. And if anything just pops out to me. Don't ever forget about Puerto Rico. It's still popping with little 2s. And Kuril Islands came in with a 5.4 just north of Japan. 12 hours ago. Sulawesi in Indonesia there, near Halmahera, popping with a 4.6. Guerrero, Mexico, right in here. That's where, what is it? Yeah, that's where Acapulco is. There you go, man. Wow. Got distracted. Oaxaca, Mexico, just north or just south of that, 4.4. So West Texas, a little 2.7. Miramar, 3.7. 4.2 in Xingzang, right up here. We're just north of Nepal. Right. And PNG. PNG has not stopped since that 7.6. Or was it a 7? Yeah, something like that. What's it? I think they knocked it down to a 6.9 actually. 4.6 bouncing. All right. So right here, PNG area. South of Bali, Indonesia, had a 3.6. That's interesting. Rota region of Mariana Islands, 5.3. Mariana Islands right here. Guam is in here. And look at bang. Right? 5.3. Interesting, we got a dinger at 3.6 in Bali, north of Bali, right? And then you got up Miramar, right? And then up into western Xingzang, 4.2. Interesting. Boom, boom. Almost straight on. Also, this kind of line, from PNG to Guam, maybe Japan, watch out, up by Tokyo. I don't know if anything's happened. I'm checking out. We're only 7 hours out, so maybe. What else? Bali Sea again. Interesting that we're getting some quakes down here. Here's Java, right? Here's Bali. And right here is Little Tolo, Little Toby. Pretty big earthquakes in a line here. And there's that nasty little volcano right there. Yeah, I wonder what that volcano was called. Let's see if we can find out. I don't know when the last time it erupted, but we can always go to our list of volcanoes and try to see what that one down there is. Right here, right? Mount Rinjani. Is that what it was? Maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4 islands past Bali. Here's Bali. Oh, it's Mount Tambora. Ooh, we don't want Tambora to pop, do we? Wow, what's the last name on Tambora? Mount Tambora is an active stratovolcano. Oof. Wikipedia on Tambora. Last eruption was 1815. It is a 8,900-foot mountain with a big hole in the middle. Yeah. Tambora lies 340 kilometers north of Java Trench, 120 miles, right, north of Trench. Generally speaking, a trench will produce a large um, volcanoes within, on average, 125 miles. So give or take 100 miles either way. Always look to about 250 to see if anything's happening. The Sunda Strait is part of what the Tambora is made out of. It moves 7.8 centimeters or 3.1 inches per year. Yeah. Right. The formation, okay, wait. Estimate for the one volcanism Mount Tambora from 57 to 43 kilometers, right? Oh, no, million miles or years. Okay. Estimates for the onset of volcanism Mount Tambora range from 57 to 43,000 years. The later estimate published in 2012, first pre-caldera. Formation Tambora drained a large magma chamber pre-existing under the mountain. The Mojo Set Islet was formed as part of the process. The Sele Bay first appeared in the sea basin about 25,000 years ago. The high volcanic cone single central vent formed before 1815 eruption, which follows the stratovolcano shape. The diameter is 37 miles. The volcano frequently erupted lava, which descended over its steep slopes. Trachy basalt and trachydiacite rocks, which are rich in potassium. The volcano contains phenocrysts and apatite and biotite and clinoproxene and leucite and magnetite and olivine and plagioclase, with the exact composition of the phenocrysts varying between different rock types. Orthoproxene is absent in trachea and andesites of Tambora. Olivine is most present in the rocks, less than 53%. So that's pretty weird. The magma involved in 1815 eruption in the mantle was further modified melts from the subducted sediments. 1815 eruption is the lowest portion. It contains deposits of interlayered sequence of lava and pyroclasts materials. Let me see what the eruption is here. Radiocarbon dating established that Mount Tambora had erupted 3 times during the Holocene epoch before 1815. And the dates are 3900 BC, 50 BC, and 740 AD. And an earlier caldera was filled and flows from 43,000 BC. All right, so in 1812, Mount Tambora became highly active with the maximum eruption intensity happening on April of 1815. The magnitude 7 on the volcanic explosivity index, so VI7, right? Out of 8, that's freaking big. The total tephra ejected was up to 1.8 times 10 to the 11th cubic meters. I don't know what that is in miles and all that stuff, but someday somebody will find out. Explosive central vent of eruptions, pyroclastic flows, tsunamis, and caldera collapses. It's kind of what it does. Volcanic activity ceased on July 15 of 1815. Any activity resumed August of 1819. Small eruption flames after rumbling rocks, aftershocks. This eruption was recorded 2 on the VI scale in 1816. Around 1880, 30 plus or minus eruptions of Mount Tambora have been registered. So, when did Krakatoa happen? Another volcano on the Sunda Strait. And I don't think Krakatoa, I think Krakatoa was a VI6, not a 7. This is bigger. But, so, Tambora, yeah. Oh, 7:45. Yeah, the eruption was pretty big in that time period. A lot of fatalities, 10,100 mostly from pyroclastic flows. Killed a lot of people. Yeah, Mount Tambora, 1815. Column height went 44 kilometers. VI7. Krakatoa was VI6. Happened in 1883. So maybe 60 years later, right? Yeah. And 80 column height went to 80 kilometers. So yeah. So Krakatoa went higher. But Krakatoa had a lot more deaths. No, less deaths, 36,000 versus Tambora, greater than 71,000. Yeah, not good. These are just the main eruption that Hungatunga Happy Eye was there. That was a VI 5 to 6. That column went up 58,000. So Tunga went higher than Tambora. So did Krakatoa. But Tambora was stronger than both Hungatunga and Krakatoa. So their estimates are all high, our estimates, I believe. Anyway, so pretty damn big mountain, Tambora. So those two quakes on either side kind of make me wonder a little bit about it. As we zoom back out for you. Hawaii's 2.9. I saw it kind of ooze out, but it didn't really explode. Philippine Islands 4.1. Java Sea, again, 4.2 in Java. Right? Java Sea right here. Right? And Veracruz, Mexico, still coming up. You see all the activity in Mexico? Look at that southern section of Mexico. I got to think that this end's going to go big. Hopefully it doesn't hurt nobody. Hey, in AZ we had a 3.4. Where the heck was this one? At 4 hours ago. I don't know where was it? I think I was asleep. Well, it happened up there by the volcanic rocks up there north of, was that Meade? Could be. Wow. Maybe I'll put a, let me take a quick look at where that is. Find out where the heck that is. All right, right up in there. Now we've had some series of quakes up in this region, over the last couple of weeks. So all this area is volcanic. And here's the Colorado River, right? Grand Canyon. Here's a skywalk that's north of me. So all this is the Grand Canyon, right? And then Lake Mead up here. So I fish up here. So anyway, digress. Get back to it, son. Yeah, only 4 hours out here. Let's see. So 3.4. Papua, Indonesia, another 4.3. 3 hours ago. That's expected with the big 7 that it had. 4.1 Mindanao, Philippines. Just north of it, right? Portugal, 1.6. Oh, inside of Portugal even. Near northern Peru had a 4.3. And P&G popping this morning, 1 hour, 41 minutes ago, at a 5.1. And Santa Cruz Islands went with a 5.1. Bing-a-ding-a-dinga. Looky. Look at that. Boom, boom. Both 5.1s. Then Iceland said hello, and P&G comes back with a 4.9. At 23 minutes ago, and Iceland had a 3 35 minutes ago. What the freaking frick? And it's Iceland region. Let's see where that is. Yeah, off the Rick James again. All right. So activity still happening off Rick James. And so this morning I do have to go to a funeral this morning, so I'm just stopping or doing a quick report for you. And I can see that much conversations in chat right now. Big hugs, y'all. I'll be back. We may do, something this evening. We may not. Just don't know how we're going to do it. All right. Big hugs, you guys. Don't get none on you, and have a good day. Love you.